Hello everyone, welcome to VTech Talks. In this lecture, we are going to talk about the below use case. Okay, this is one of the real-time use case and it's very important. Okay, at the end of this video, I'll give you two most important interview questions also. Don't miss that. Okay, okay, let's enter into the topic. So what is the use case here? So read data, see, read data from S3 bucket and insert into Snowflake as well as AWS MySQL. So far, we have seen, okay, so far we have seen the individual insertions. So here you can see, okay, we are reading the data and inserting into Snowflake. So here we have discussed already, like read data from S3 and insert into MySQL. There is a difference between the previous use cases and this use case, okay? So what we are doing here, okay? So you need to read the data from S3 bucket. What type of data? It is a CSV data. Now, so that is called extract. Read in the sense extract. Now, you need to perform transformation. By using MuleSoft, we are transforming from CSV to JSON. Okay. So before going to insert CSV to JSON. Now, finally, we are going to insert the data into Snowflake as well as AWS. So here, the main thing. So you need to insert the data. It's not in a sequential manner. Or first we need to complete SnowDB, then you need to perform AWS. It's not like that, okay? So here we need to process, the records in a parallel mode. So parallelly we need to insert. Suppose if we have 10 records, so the first record you will read and you will process into SnowDB as well as AWS. The same way, second record you need to read from, okay, S3 and you need to insert into SnowDB and AWS. It's like parallel processing we need to perform. Okay, parallel process for each record. It's not entire records, parallel process for each record. Okay, we'll see. So how it is going to work and what are the steps we need to take care in order to implement this one. So now the very first step, what you need to do, you need to create tables. Okay, the tables are already created. So this is our table structure. If you observe this one, okay, ID, first name, last name, email, location, and department. So the table is created. Let's see how many rows are present here. So if you observe this one, you can see here we have only 0 rows. Now, I have created AWS connection with MySQL. So here, if I perform select count star, okay, 0 rows. Okay, now the tables are ready. So here I have created as customer table and Snowflake I have created as ViTech employees. Okay, so the table names are different, but the same data we are going to insert. So before going to implement, so we need to create tables in all the 2 regions. Then you have to create one bucket. Okay, the bucket also ready. And here, as soon as if we are going to upload any file, okay, the process has to run automatically and it has to insert all the records into Snowflake as well as AWS My SQL. Okay, this is what we are going to perform now. Just concentrate on this one. Okay, so this is what we have discussed in the previous video. Okay, if you are watching this video for the very first time, so what you can do, you can go to our YouTube channel, ViTech Talks. So here you can see playlist. Okay, click on this playlist, and here I have created playlist called AWS and MuleSoft with AWS integration. Okay, you can go through this playlist for more clarification. Okay, now so I'm going to take the previous use case, and I'm going to take the previous use case and make it ready for the current use case. Okay, now what we need to do, so first you need to read the data. Okay, concentrate only this part. In order to read the data automatically, we need to use on new object. On new object. So here I have given the frequency is every 20 seconds. Okay, every 20 seconds, it will go and verify is there any new file were uploaded into S3 bucket. Is there any new file it's uploaded, it will trigger automatically. Okay, this is the configuration. Okay, this is the configuration. So here we need to provide access key and secret key. I have explained in the previous video how to generate access key and secret key. You can go through that. Or else what you can do, here we have ViTech security credentials. So here you can see access keys. If you want to create access keys, what you can do, you can generate. You can click on this create access key and generate access key and secret key. Okay. Now, just observe here. So this is our configuration. Access key and secret key, the bucket name I have given here. As soon as if you are going to place any file into this same bucket, it will trigger. Okay, now it will give you the bucket name and the file name. Okay, it will give you on new object will give you only bucket name and file name. So based on this, what you need to do, you need to get the object, you need to get the details. So you can use get object. So this will give you payload and key. Okay, key means file name and the bucket name. Okay, so this will give you bucket name and key name. So you can take both. Okay, you can take both and you can configure here. So as soon as if you configure bucket name and key, automatically it will get the data. So what type of data it is there? CSV data. Okay, now read is done. Read is done. Now what you need to do? You need to transform. So in order to transform, we need to use transform message. Okay. So here you need to convert CSV to JSON. Then only we can read one by one and we can insert. Read payload application slash CSV. Okay, it will read the CSV data and it will convert the output as JSON. Now, so what for each will do, it will process one by one in a sequential manner. Suppose if you have 10 records, 1 to 10, first it will read 1 and it will process. Then second record, third record, fourth, up to 10 it will process and it will come out of this loop. Okay, it's like looping concept. Now, so here it is going to insert. Here it is going to insert. Okay, I have made a query in the previous use case itself, okay, insert into table name, ID and first name, last name, email, location, department, and values. Okay. In order to provide the values in a dynamic way, you need to provide colon, ID, comma, colon, first name, comma, colon, last name. So like this, you need to provide, and input parameters, you need to provide payload. Okay, cool. So if I run this process, it will read the data and it will insert into AWS. But what is our use case? What is our use case? We need to insert the same data into Snowflake as well as AWS. Okay. So here I have commented out something, right? Okay. This is what we have commented in the previous use cases. Okay. So what it will do, it will insert the data into Snowflake. Okay. The query is same, but the tables are different. That's it. Now I want to process the data in a parallel. Okay. In a parallel mode. So it's very important. So in order to process the data in parallel mode, the same record, what you need to do, you need to use scatter gather. Okay, scatter gather. Now drag this Snowflake connector here. So inside scatter gather, again drag this AWS MySQL connector into scatter gather. Now you can observe what is happening. So it will read the data. So suppose you can consider it contains 10 records. What for each will do, it will read one by one. The first record it will read and it will go to Snowflake and it will go to AWS and it will come out of it. Okay. So here I'm going to keep one logger. Before process into AWS and Snowflake. AWS and Snowflake. So if you want to print the payload, you can print. Okay. So what is the message you are going to insert into both databases? Okay. One is for Snowflake and one is for AWS. Now, if you want, you can add the loggers also here. Okay. But it is not required. It is not required now. Even you can keep the logger after scatter gather. After scatter gather, record insertion is done. Insertion is done for payload dot. Okay. So it will give you different results. It's not required. Record insertion is done for given payload. So this is for our understanding purpose. Just I have given. Just concentrate here. So it's very simple. So in order to process the records in a parallel mode, we need to use scatter gather. So first it is going to see parallelly it is going to. So not first, parallelly it is going to insert into Snowflake as well as AWS. Okay. So this is the flow we need to follow. Now let me run this one and observe how it is going to work. I'm not running in a debug mode, okay? Or else I'll run in a debug mode and I'll explain. So how it is going to work now. Let me add breakpoints here. Let me add breakpoints and run in a debug mode. At the end of the video, I'll give you 2 important interview questions. Okay, it's very important. Please watch the video at the end. See, the same way you need to practice also, okay? So until and unless you practice, you won't get any knowledge, okay? You have to practice. Practice makes man perfect, okay? Okay, anyway, it is going to run in a local. Okay, still it is deploying. Still it is deploying. I hope you understand the concept now. So we are reading the data from AWS S3 bucket. It's like we are extracting the data and we are transforming. What kind of transformation we are doing? We are transforming from CSV to JSON, and parallelly we are inserting into Snowflake as well as AWS MySQL. Okay. Now, what I will do, I'll go to S3. I'll go to S3. So this is our bucket name. So here we do have already 3 files. So it is not going to process these 3 files, okay? Because we have given on new object. So whenever is there any new file is going to uploaded or inserted, then only the process is going to trigger. Now let's see. Upload, add file. I'm going to add employee data for CSV file. So it is uploading now. Okay, the upload is done. See, as soon as if I have uploaded, okay, it is going to trigger. Okay, it is going to trigger. And what kind of data it is giving? Just observe. So if you see payload, it is giving bucket name and key name. Now click on F6 and get object. You need to provide key and bucket name, and it will give you, see, it will give you this kind of results. Let me take this result. If we go to data web playground, just see here. So this kind of data we are getting. So this is the CSV data. This is the CSV data. So we need to convert into JSON. Okay. So it's very simple, but so here there is a problem. Okay. There's a problem. So it will read the data in a text format. Now see, text format. It will come in a this format. If you run this data wave code, you will get like this. But we need a JSON format. So it's very simple. What we need to do? Just you need to read payload application slash CSV. See how beauty it is. Okay. From text to JSON, we are converting first. From JSON to, sorry, from text to CSV, we are converting. From CSV to JSON, we are converting finally. Okay. Now, what for each will do, it will read one by one. Let's see. It will go to inside for each. If you see this logger, see now, so first record, we are going to process. So how it is going to process, let's see now. See, it will go and insert into Snowflake and AWS. Okay. In debug mode, it will show like, okay, first it will go to Snowflake or AWS like this, but scatter gather will work in a parallel mode. Now, second record, let's see. Give F6. See now. So this is how it is going to insert the records into one by one. Okay. Now I'm going to resume. Okay. I'm going to resume. I don't want to go for step by step. Okay. Now it will insert the records one by one. So here you can observe. Here you can observe. See, eighth record is there. Now it is the ninth record, 11th record. Okay. If you observe the logs, okay, if you observe the logs, how many records are processed, you will get to know. Okay. Record number 13, 14, 15. Okay. And now you can go to Snowflake and run this query. Select star from table name. So how many so far? 18 records are inserted. Let me search this one. In AWS, how many records are inserted? 20. Yeah. See, because 18 and 20 means, okay, again, don't get confused. So it is running in a parallel mode. So still it is processing. So now it is 25. So keep on, it is going to update. So that is the reason count is not matching. So this is how it is going to work. Now it is 28. See, 31 records. So like this, it is going to insert in a parallel mode. So this is one of the use case in real time. So how we are going to use ETL process here. So this is called ETL process. Extract, transform, unload. Okay, extract, transform, unload. So from where we are reading? We are reading from S3. See, the source is S3 here. The destination is Snowflake as well as AWS MySQL. Sometimes we are going to read this file from servers. Okay, servers FTP and SFTP, or different database we are reading, or different files we are reading. Okay, that is depends on your requirement. But here we are reading the data from S3 and we are going to insert into Snowflake as well as AWS. Okay, let's see how many records are inserted now. Even if we go to logs, we can able to see. See, so far 59 records are processed. Okay, 60 records are processed. This is the flow. Okay, this is the flow. I hope you understand the concept and it is useful for you. Next, that's it for this use case. That's it for this use case. And I told you, right, in the beginning of this video, at the end, I'll give you two most important interview questions. Okay, what is the question number one? Question number one is, what is the question number one? So how many ways we can configure the DB properties? DB properties. See how we are configuring DB properties here. Suppose you can consider Snowflake or AWS, whatever it is. See, how are we doing? So we do have configuration, edit configuration here. If you observe host name, port name, and username and password, we are directly hard coding here. So this is one way. And there is another way. So what we can do, you can keep it into, we can keep this into property files. Property files, and we are reading. Okay, property files and we are reading. So like this, how many ways? I have explained two ways now. I have explained already. One is hard coding. Second one is read the data from properties. Third one is, you can guess. Third one is, we can create a table. Okay, you can create a table like this. Okay, you can create a table like this. ID, host, port, something like this, and you can keep the username and password from database. From database. This is another way. There is one most important way. Okay, there is another method also we do have. Okay, that I'm not going to tell you now. You can Google it, or you can try to find it somewhere and comment. Okay, just do comment in a comment section if you know the answer. Okay, comment in a chat box or comment box, comment section. So your answer in a comment section. So this is one of the most important interview question. Even in real time also, how many ways we can configure the DB properties? One is hard coding and read data from properties, and another way is from read data from database, read data from database and configure. There is one most important way, it is there. Okay, you can try to find out the answer. Okay, this is one question. Next, what is the another question? Question 2 is, just observe here. Observe, just observe. We are using scatter gather, and we are calling inside scatter gather, we are calling two flows. We can assume, okay, two flows. If any one is failing, what will happen? And what kind of response you will get it? To identify this answer, what you can do, you can keep raise error. Okay, just raise error here and try to test it, and do let me know in a comment section what is your response. Okay, what is your response? So what is the question here? Scatter gather, scatter gather, scatter gather. If you are calling 2 or 3 flows or 2 or 3 requests, if any one is failing, what will happen? I mean, the rest of the flows are going to execute or not? If it is failing, where it will fail and what kind of response? What kind of response it will return? This is also one of the interview question. It's very important. Okay. Try to answer for these 2 questions and comment your answer in a comment section. Okay. Answer both the questions and I'll give you clarifications for that. Okay. See, even I can tell you, but this is the task for you guys. Like, okay. So what is your knowledge on these 2 questions? Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching this. Happy learning.